Hello there, and welcome to Veritas, your source of ideas for self-actualization. My name is Nigel, and today we're talking success and happiness. Right, in today's podcast, it would really help to start today by defining what happiness means. And while there's no agreed on definition for what happiness actually means, it can be easily inferenced as a state of pleasantness that is experienced inside our minds when reality and life is good, as in the outcome of reality matches or exceeds the expectations that we've had in our head. And as a consequence, success could easily be defined as the accomplishment of said aim or purpose, resulting in the subjective well-being that is our happiness. So in this regard, it can be easily said that success generates happiness in that regard. Now, since our childhood, especially for us millennials as a generation, we've been constantly taught that we must work hard to be successful and then only we'll be happy. It makes sense to first off ask or challenge the notion of what defines the success that we seek. Is it the house? Is it the amazing career? Is it the ideal spouse? Or is it really successful kids? A second argument that can be taken towards that narrative that has been spouted earlier is, why is it that we can only be happy when we are successful? And to put both arguments into context, it only makes sense to analyze the modern culture at large. See, the thing about the modern culture is that it is responsible for bringing us all the comforts, all the luxuries, and all the technological advancements that we have. Not only do we live in an age of unprecedented technological advance, we don't have to deal with plague outbreaks like last time, we don't have to deal with random weather occurrences like last time, and we can have food and comfort at our own disposal whenever we want it, right? So in a sense, the thing that constitutes the economic machine that brought us our modern culture is free market capitalism, right? So what is the core idea of free market capitalism, right? And the thing is that free market capitalism preaches this two words as literally a panacea for everything. And it is called more stuff. Yeah, you heard me right, more stuff. So, think about it for a second, right? When you are sick, what do? You get more money, you get more medicine, you go to see more doctors, right? When your living situation is kind of shit, what do? You go for more adventures, you go get more jobs, you go get a more fulfilling job. Everything in our culture can literally be traced to the idea of obtaining more stuff. So it's easy then to draw the correlation between success, meaning the process of acquiring more stuff, and that successful people are people who have the means to acquire more stuff whenever they want it, right? And as a consequence of the economic machine having to cater to constant demands or solve daily problems, it ends up creating this self-sustaining loop that cannot afford to stop. The market doesn't care whether you're in it or not. It doesn't matter, right? Because if you're not in it, the market doesn't care. It doesn't pay you, and consequently, you don't get the currency to acquire more stuff. And consequently, you are viewed as a failure because you cannot acquire more stuff, right? And one way to think about it is to look at the book Homo Deus, written by Yuval Noah Harari. Amazing book. I would recommend it to anybody out there. And Yuval brings up this interesting question to really visualize the free market capitalism that has brought us our comforts of today. And I quote, he says that, don't ask me, but rather ask somebody with $100,000, ask them, what would they do with that money? if they had $100,000 and they will give you an answer. And if you were to ever suggest to them that they do nothing with it, watch the response. End quote. So, the thing about the market is that because we are trapped in this rat race, right? We end up selling our time and our effort chasing this idea of success in order to obtain happiness, that we just end up making ourselves miserable. We forget what it means to be able to stop and smell the flowers, right? And the thing is that when you lose touch with the happiness inside, then your life literally becomes nothing more than a pursuit of acquiring currency so that you can have a shot at getting more stuff. And that more stuff may or may not be able to make you happy, because in the end, because the market cannot stop, it is a never-ending pursuit. And once you have some, your greed will inevitably make you want to acquire more, to rinse and repeat the process, because that is just human nature in a nutshell. And the thing is, it's insanity because it means that you can never be truly happy outside of acquiring more stuff. Now think about that for a second. That's just insane, right? Like, is the value of your life literally limited to how much stuff you can acquire? Because I believe it is not just me who has this realization. It is easily some of you guys out there who are working hard right now, who have seen stories of CEOs, accomplished people in their 20s who have made it to the top of the world, having everything that they can have, having acquired the more stuff they can possibly acquire. Then they suddenly realize, oh wait, shit man, I'm freaking miserable. Then they go on this spiritual journey, and then they suddenly come out of it and they realize that, oh man, happiness isn't the pursuit of getting more stuff, right? To this end, I would strongly recommend the following. My friend, it is something for us to figure out. It is, happiness is different for every person. What could make you happy could make me less than happy. And the thing is that, because going back to the definition of happiness that we discussed, it is that it is subjective well-being, right? It is perceived from the mind, and therefore, one fundamental fact you must understand is that happiness is in your head, man. Happiness is in your head. Because there is nowhere in any traditional scripture or any wisdom that said that you must be this and this and this. You must meet a set requirement to be happy. You can just be happy. Whether you're successful or not may or may not affect it. But the baseline remains the same. You don't need to be successful to be happy. But it definitely helps to be happy, because being happy on your journey to become successful will become a straight up, much more enjoyable journey, right? If you're gonna make yourself miserable to become successful, then only you can be happy, then chances are you're gonna spend 80% of your life being fucking miserable, then only finding happiness from there on. And chances are that's not what you want, right? But what if instead you finally understand what happiness means for you? You finally understand the little things that you can do in your everyday life that will bring you happiness and joy. Then what is stopping you from doing these little small acts of joy every single day to make your path to success a happy one, where you know that the ending is good and the path leading up to the ending is a happy one? In essence, what I'm saying is, be happy. Find happiness first, because happy people have a higher chance of becoming successful. Anyways, that brings it to the end of the podcast, and it was a quick one today. So if you enjoyed the podcast as I did, you know the usual drill. I'm gonna ask you, if you liked it, then drop a comment, drop a sub on the channel. It definitely helps me grow, and it helps me give feedback on what you guys would like to see in the future. And as for you out there, I wish you the greatest success and clarity on what the hell makes you happy. Right, it's Nigel here. I hope you have a good day. Stay happy. Peace out.